Every name you drop got roots in the grind. History speaks loud, just listen to the line. We struggle to shine, we honor the climb. We're losses hit deep, but sharp in the mind. Real don't flex, they just move with weight. Welcome to the legacy, room A-108, go to the legacy. Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome back to room A-108. I'm your host, David. Joining me as always, my co-host, CJ. And this time around, looks like I'm gonna be doing the intro since Amber is being insubordinate this week. I know, right? We just make sure in the comments everybody give her a hard time about not doing the intro.
Please do.
But this episode, we're
it's
gonna
brought to you by this trash ass candy right here.
Oh, you couldn't wait. First of all,
That this fool like.
What rapper is that?
Ahead, I don't know, man. You can take
What rapper is
take
this?
that garbage. If anybody
this is
saw,
the 100 celebrating 100 years. If it's trash, then why is it around for 100 years?
anybody saw his post from earlier today, ranking 4 candies, 3 of which were
I'll eat
like
that mid-episode.
goat status, and then you throw that garbage in there.
Amber,
Come on.
do you
man.
like Milky Way candy bars?
No.
Thank you. Nobody does.
It's just
Trash filler, bro.
So why was it around for 100 years? Just
Hey, man.
because? Oh,
I
whatever,
can
man.
ask you why a lot of stuff was around for a
That's
lot
cool.
of
You're
years.
gonna hear this. You're gonna hear this rapper crackling in a second. In the mid. I'm about to indulge like the big kid from Willy Wonka, man. Chocolate all over. I'm definitely about to smash. Milky Way is a classic. If you like caramel and chocolate, you like Milky Way. So you don't like caramel?
Love caramel, love chocolate.
Just don't like Milky Way.
Way.
You don't like the name?
I just think it's ass, bro. It's not good.
No, it's caramel and chocolate. It's as basic as it gets for it. It satisfies all cravings. Better. Snickers was easily the last on that one. It wasn't even close. Snickers was the worst. It's
Tripping.
got the best commercials. Just
Tripping.
just mid, super mid. I'll smash that too though. But anyways, I knew he was gonna bring that up. But everybody on my Facebook post that was talking about Milky Way as last, you're just wrong. Okay, so.
But why was there more people on my side than yours?
Because more people are wrong.
Nah, man.
There's a lot of wrong people in the world, man.
More people rock with the truth, man. That's all. That's all. Trash filler. That's what you should call it.
Just wait. I'm about to hit these comments up right after this episode. Just wait. But on a serious note, since Milky Way is agreed upon as a great candy bar, we'll move on to what this episode, we're going to touch on the spectacle of the season from our Chicago Bears beating the Steelers. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing, but a W's a W. We'll take it. So we'll touch on that. Also, we're going to touch on, give a little preview of the Bears versus the Lions on Black Friday.
Eagles.
What did I say?
Lions.
Yeah, Bears versus Eagle on Friday, Black Friday. Yeah. So, see, Milky Way got me thrown off, man. Just got me all thrown off because I'm just thinking about eating this candy bar now. I don't even know. I might have to eat that before we finish the pod. Anyways, yeah, like I said, we're going to move on to the Bears preview versus the Eagles on Black Friday, which has huge playoff implications. Like, I mean, whoever wins that game is going to be resting in the top 3-4 in NFC. So huge game for the Bears. Also, we're getting towards the end of the season, last week of the regular season, I believe, for college football. You know, the game is coming up. Big game for my boys, Michigan. But we'll also touch on all the other games going on this week and just get a little preview of what the college football playoff will look like. And at the end of the episode, we'll touch on the Bulls, the season that started and the season that is. So, to start off, just might as well just go right into it with the big game this week for the Bears versus the Steelers. So, what's your gut reaction from that game?
Man, it was one of the first games so far this year that I really didn't get a good chance to watch or listen to. I was at work.
Okay.
And, I had my AirPods in, bouncing around across the mill, trying to work and trying to listen at the same time, but cutting in and out of service.
Breaking all type of OSHA laws, man.
Hey, man. Don't matter if they don't catch you, bro. But
that's not how it goes.
That is absolutely how it goes. But just glad they found a way to win. I mean, I guess that's the overarching kind of takeaway from that is just glad they found a way to win. Would have been nice to have Rodgers out there and beat them by 2 touchdowns and put their foot up his ass, but it didn't happen. Which is fine. But they they still won a game, and that's all we can ask for at this point. I think the season has I think they've overachieved in a lot of people's eyes up to this point. If you would have told me before the season started that they would have been 8-3 at this point, I wouldn't have believed it. I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't have believed it. I would have been surprised. I would have been surprised for sure. But they got a big test this week. Not only playing the Steelers, who going into this past week, were sitting in first place in the AFC North, but now you travel to Philly on a short week and play, the defending champs. So it's a big test for them, and we'll see what they're made of. Hopefully, they show up and they just, make it a competitive game. I won't be upset if they, walk away with a loss in that game. Just as long as they put forth a decent effort, something, that we won't be ashamed about is what I'll say. But yeah, man. As far as the Pittsburgh game, what I want to say is that I'm glad that Ben Johnson and company listen to the pod. But
and I text you in the middle. I'm like, man, someone's listening, man.
Yeah, but I'll just say that I'm happy that some of the things that we've been concerned about and asked for are kind of being addressed lately. Glad to see that some positions that you drafted pretty high in this draft are finally starting to show up and contribute, and it's good to see. It's good to see, but yeah, I guess I'll just go ahead and thank them for listening to the pod, bro.
We're here to help. We're here to help, man. We're here for the city. Chi-Town, we got you.
Yeah, man. Hey, we here.
Except the Cubs. Y'all can stay over there.
I mean, I'll even give them some pointers if they want to pay us. I ain't never turning down, a check. But
I can give them bad information for a paycheck. That's for sure.
Giving all the good stuff to these guys first, but if the Cubs want to, come drop a bag at room A-108, it's gonna get picked up. They turn it down no cash, bro.
Yeah, can't. But no, I'm with you on the game against the Steelers. So just to piggyback on what you were talking about us being 8-3 at this point in the season, I agree with you. I didn't expect it, but I'm not completely shocked by it. Only because, I mean, how long have we been crowned the offseason champs? It's just, I mean, it was inevitable, hopefully, optimistic, just that it worked out. And so finally it is. But I would say for the Bears, this is my perspective of it. It's like we're finally winning games that we're supposed to win. So I would say this season, with the exception of that first game against Minnesota, we've pretty much won every game we were supposed to win, except Baltimore, too. I'm sorry, I'll throw that one in as well. And that's kind of been Chicago's niche for the longest. Is we lose games we're supposed to win, and they're actually fighting. You can see the culture. I hate using that word, but you can see the culture is definitely changing in the locker room. Ben is definitely. So that was something they were asking for in the offseason. They wanted a coach who was a culture changer, and he seems like he's doing that. Kevin Byers been saying he's like, we're not the same Bears team from last year, but it's going to take some time. And I will say, to me at least, I see progress every week. there are some things that I'm like, okay, that was stupid, that was dumb, but I mean, that happens. Like, everyone thinks, I mean, yeah, we watch the Bears every week, so we have tunnel vision. But I watched the Eagles last week and just blow it against the Cowboys. And the Cowboys was the one team that we blew out this year. So it's not just us. Other teams have these games where it's just like, okay, we have no business losing this game. So it's bound to happen. But for us, the biggest things that I like that we addressed is our defensive line, although it's not mounds better, it's better than it was at the beginning of the season, at least in the pass rush. The run stop still needs to be addressed, but I'm with 3 linebackers out, you can only ask for so much. Also, still have the number 1 starting corner and your nickel corner out as well. So, with the already suspect defense, you can only ask for so much. Penalties we've reduced, so that's been something that's good, and it's refreshing to see us actually improving every single week. And it's like, okay, I can get behind this. You can see that they're actually using practice for what it's for. It's not just something that's just like a formality. Oh, we got to go to practice because that's what we do. So, and that reflects good coaching.
Even though they're winning, is there anything that kind of sticks out to you that maybe selfishly wish looked better, or pinpoint a certain player or two that you want more from, which is hard to ask for an 8-3 team. But is there anything that you could pinpoint that you would want to see better from anybody on the squad?
I would like to see Caleb play more consistent the first 3 quarters. I'm not saying he's playing poorly. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm appreciative of what he brings in the clutch, but he's very up and down in the first 3 quarters. That kind of, it's not all on him, but a lot of those things kind of leave us in close games. And I think steady play, that was his thing coming into the league. He plays Superman ball. He wants to save the day every single play. He wants to win a Super Bowl every snap. But besides that, just defense, and those are the biggest things that I would address. What about you? What do you think?
I think we've been talking lately about wanting to see them finish more drives, with 6 instead of 3.
Yeah.
And I think that ultimately doesn't happen until he's much more accurate, as a passer. I think at this point, if you compared where they are in the season now compared to last year, I think his completion percentage is lower this year than it was last year. And I'm not asking him to be, some 75 plus, 80% completion percentage, but it can't be in the 50s and it can't be in the low 60s. Like, there's, Ben is doing what he can, and he's doing a very good job of scheming guys open a lot of times with play calls, and the balls sometimes just aren't there, and it's not for lack of talent. He can make every throw on the field, but whether it's a footwork off or just timing wise something, but just some of the throws that he's missing throughout the course of the game. If you take 4 to 6 of those incompletions and turn those into completions, I think obviously his completion percentage will go up, but I think you'll see a lot more drives ending in touchdowns, than field goals. And even some of the passes that he's completing, he's, sometimes, if he would just give some of these guys, a runner's ball where he puts it out in front of him and give him an opportunity to, to make a move and get some yards after the catch. You're seeing a lot of them, guys having to contort their body and, catch it behind them. And, obviously, there's nowhere to go after that. But that's not going to act like, I'm not appreciative of where they are, by any means. But if there was, something that I hope to see, improve in the future, it would definitely be, him just being a little bit more clean in the pocket, footwork, and, delivering, some of those passes with just a little bit more accuracy is what I would say. But Can't complain with 8-3.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I want to touch on one more thing with that before we move on. The first thing is, I think, his big thing has always been he doesn't turn the ball over, right? He's very good at protecting the ball. I think that, this is my opinion, I think that sits in the back of his mind so much that's why he's so hesitant to make some of these throws. Because one thing, if you notice Caleb, like, he doesn't really, don't get me wrong at all. I mean, he places perfect balls, but you don't see many, like, threading the needle. He doesn't do that too often. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything, like you said, has been scheming. He kind of knows where the ball is going to go beforehand, which is very college-esque. But like I said, I can't complain too much. It's 8-3. But I agree. But what I do want to say is, I have the first thing happened this week that really rubbed me the wrong way about Caleb. And you know me, man, I've been Team Caleb pretty much since he's been drafted. And I guess it's because I see the opposite from other quarterbacks. But you said you didn't see the game, but I don't know if you saw maybe the highlights or anything. But it was the play where I think Caleb threw, I don't remember the play. It was a double reverse. And he ran out. He was the lead block. And it came time for him to make contact in the block. And he just did a Matador Olay and got out of the way. Now, it started clicking in my head, and I'm like, man, you know what? I really do get pissed off at him a lot, because there'll be scramble moments where if he just maybe just lunged forward a little bit, he get a first down and he just runs out of bounds or slides a yard short. And I don't like that, man. I don't like that, because to me, your attitude is like, my health is more important than getting that extra yard. Well, I'm not saying don't sacrifice, don't season ending, but, give a little shimmy or something like that. Or, if a block, I get it, you're not a lineman or you're anything like that, but, throw a shoulder into him for the block. It's just more hands off, don't touch me. And that rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, man, Caleb, I'm not off the bandwagon. That just really rubbed me the wrong way about him.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I did see the play on the sideline where he, took a extra half a second to get out of bounds, and then Ramsey pushed him borderline, and then Gardner Johnson kind of came to his defense, and that's just one of those where it's like, I hate when Mahomes does it. So like, I'm not even, so I can't be a hypocrite. Like, I don't like that. Just get out of bounds, bro. If you because when the time comes for somebody to put a shoulder into you, I don't want to hear no crying when the flag don't come out, So, but yeah, I didn't see that play, man. When I'm stuck at work, I'm such a prisoner to that damn break room, bro. It's like a cinder block room with no signal, bro. And oh my god, but yeah, what are your thoughts going into Friday against the Eagles, which doesn't look like the same Super Bowl Eagles team from last year, man? How do you feel about the game coming up?
I'm expecting a loss, but I don't think it's a game that we can't win. You know what I mean? Like, my feelings, I'm going to be mad because I'm a fan, but I'm like, okay. I think both of us predicted before the season started, when we ran through the schedule, predicted a loss. And I can see that, especially coming off a loss from Dallas. So, but I don't know. Philly has a habit. When they fall off the rails, they fall off bad. You remember a couple seasons ago, in between Super Bowl runs, with Super Bowls, when they made it, they made the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And then they had a year where they just ended the season really, really bad. They lost like 4 games in a row and just. So I don't know if this is going to be one of those scenarios, or maybe they're going to come back and kind of just hand it to us just because, they're like, all right, we can't take no more losses because we're battling for that 1 seed. But they're a team that we can hang with. Clearly, I mean, if we blow out Dallas, we can hang with the Eagles. So expecting a loss, I think we'll be competitive. But I'm still rooting for a win.
I wouldn't. For me, I wouldn't say expecting a loss. if you forced me to pick the game, I would probably pick Philly, but I'm not, going into it thinking that it's some insurmountable task. It's it's a coin flip in my opinion. The only thing that has me nervous about it is them coming off of blowing a game to a hated rival in a division. What Philly team are you going to be showing up to Philly to play? Are they going to be motivated to kind of right the wrong from Sunday and you know and this Bears team just happens to be the one in front of them that that they end up putting their paws on? It could go that way, but it could continue to just be a season for Philly that continues to just spiral, in the wrong direction. Whether it's them being inconsistent on offense and not finding a way to get Saquon involved in the offense. You got a wide receiver that's crying every other week about not getting touches. So we'll see. Definitely not a game that they can go in and win, but that's the big key for me is how motivated is Philly going to come into that game, coming back home after stinking up the joint down in Dallas.
What does the injury report look like? I haven't even looked into it yet this week. Because that's going to be.
They didn't practice today, so the report that they put out was just an estimation. But I do know that they put on there that like Jalen and Kyler Gordon were both full participants.
What about Edmonds? Is he still?
Edmonds is on IR,
so he's going to be out.
He's out for 3 more games.
Okay.
I think Edwards was a DNP again.
So I mean that's huge right there in itself. So I mean it's tough. I'm not saying we can't compete without them because we've done it all season, but
yeah. So I just pulled it up now. So you got Edwards, Hippolyte, Newman, Dominique Robinson, Sewell, and Tyreek all DNP today, and then Theo Benedict, Kyler Gordon, Homer, Jalen Johnson, and Monungai were all full. So once again, you got a laundry list of linebackers who DNP. So we'll see, but hopefully last week they kind of held Jalen and Kyler Gordon out because they knew it was a short week. So maybe you get those guys back and find a way to Band-Aid up that linebacker unit and see who's out there. But one person that's pleasantly surprising lately has been Montez Sweat.
I was just going to say that, man. I was literally just going to say that.
He caught a lot of flack in this offseason. He caught a lot of flack to start the year, for the contract that he's playing under. Definitely underwhelming for most of last year than to start this year. But for the last 5-6 weeks maybe, he's
been gaming.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he could have easily Sunday had 3 sacks from what I went back and watched. So yeah, pleasantly surprised to see him playing better. And you're pretty healthy on the D-line. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, getting healthier on the back end. So if they could just, hold it together for a few weeks until, the linebackers get back, maybe they'll be finishing the season and going into playoffs, fingers crossed, a little bit healthier. But we'll see, man. Is there anything else like around the league that's surprised you? Any overarching NFL thoughts, as the playoff race is starting to kind of come together?
Just a lot of surprises this year between us, Patriots, Seahawks. I know the Colts they kind of fell off a little bit. Danny Dimes is more like Danny Pennies these days. But a lot of the sleeper teams, even the Jaguars, it's just a lot of teams that I wasn't expecting to really be impactful, and then a lot of teams that we considered heavy hitters from the last couple seasons. I mean, mostly due to injuries, except the Chiefs. That's kind of a shocker this year for me.
I don't know if you'll agree, but it kind of feels like up to this point, it feels like the Rams are like the top tier team right
Yeah.
now, and then everybody else just kind of is, fighting to, to be, a slot behind them. But, offensively, the Rams are just, clicking on all cylinders. Man.
Patriots too, man.
The Patriots, for anybody who doesn't want to give the Bears any kudos to this point about who have they played and who have they beaten, I could say the same thing about the Patriots, bro. The same exact thing, but you don't hear that, from nationally.
You just hear about Drake May being.
Yeah, you don't hear any of that about from any of the people who try to knock the Bears down for what they've been doing so far. You don't hear anybody, poo-pooing who the Patriots have beaten so far. But they have it. Who's on their schedule? Who's on their wins so far that have been impressive, more impressive than what the Bears have done.
And I wasn't expecting the Rams to dog walk the Bucs like that. That was bad. I was actually hoping the Bucs would win because that would kind of put us in a tie for first place in the NFC.
It's just one of them games that just got out of hand super quick for the
It was
Bucs,
bad.
especially when they were on the road. They go down 7-0, and then it was like either the first or second play of their opening drive. Baker hits the tight end right in the hands, and he juggles it and turns it into a pick six going back. So now it's like, bro, 4 or 5 minutes into the game, you're down 14-0.
It's over with.
And then I think they got down. They were down like 21-0 at some point, I think, in the first half, and Bowles is going for it on fourth down in his own territory, and you just saw that was a game that just got out of hand and away from them really quick. I think if you play that game again, I think the Bucs give a better showing, even on the road, but definitely at home. I think they give a better showing than that, but it's just one of them quirky games that just started off.
There's no
bad.
coming back.
There's no coming back when it snowballs that quickly like that on you. It was almost no coming back for him.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Baker Mayfield ended up with like 42 yards passing or something like that, and 2 interceptions. It was just one of those. Like I said earlier, it's just one of the. I mean, good teams have bad days, especially in the NFL. You're playing 17 games between injuries or just so many different factors.
Yeah, that's why one of the things, if there was any piece of advice that I can give anybody when you're evaluating a team, a player, whether it's for over a course of a season, especially in the NFL, take that player or team's best showing and take their worst showing and eliminate them, and then average out everything else in the middle, because you're gonna have outliers on both ends. You're just going to show up one day and you ain't going to have it. And then you're just going to show up one day and you catch all the breaks. The ball bounces your way every single time for a game. So that's one of the things that, I heard that's kind of stuck with me is, take the very best of the year, take the very worst, take those two out, and then, average out everything else that you left with. And that'll probably be a better indicator of what that team is.
So with us,
player is.
So with us, it would be take away that Lions game for the worst and probably the Cowboys for the best.
Absolutely.
And then you pretty much got all hard fought, close games where, we tend to come through in the clutch.
Absolutely. I think so.
So yeah, sure. That's pretty. It's good. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, and I think because for everybody who I think, especially nationally, when people ask, are the Bears contenders or pretenders, and then I think one of the first stats that they always like to bring up is. A negative point differential. Well, if you take out the one game they got their ass kicked by the Lions, it's going to be a whole lot better, a whole lot more even, differential, from that point. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Man. You want to move on to college and talk about that uneventful game coming up that you called the game?
Why's it got to be all that?
Because
that's messed up, man.
It's the number one team in the country playing against a non-existent Michigan team.
First of all, they're number 15. Okay. So here's my rationale. Okay, just
bear with you for a minute.
Yeah, just
Go ahead. I'll let you cook. Let them cook, Amber.
No, I'm not even trying to go because I don't think Michigan is going to win. Let's just be clear. I don't think Michigan's going to win. But I really didn't think Michigan was going to win last year. and they were worse last year. A lot worse last year. They almost had a 500 record last year, and they won 13. We won with a walk-on quarterback. So, I mean, I don't have my hopes up, but I'm also like, man, when you have rivalry games, anything can happen, and that's not even this. That's whatever rivalry you have. Like Auburn and Alabama are playing. I'm not expecting Auburn to win, but rivalry games, you never know. So that's all I'm saying. And then it's been so fun winning the last 4 years. You see signs everywhere saying it's been so-and-so days since Ohio State beat Michigan. I just love it. Just random plays that have nothing to do with football.
You only got a few more days for that to be true.
Hey, well, I'll enjoy it while I could, because I went like 7 years where Michigan didn't get a win. So I was cool with what we got. Michigan has a young team. I mean, they have one of the youngest rosters in college football that they're starting. So I'm not really worried about it. So if we go back, that's why I love having a podcast, because whatever you say, it's on record.
So wax, baby.
I said it before the season started. I was like, we'll be on the cusp of making the playoffs, and I think we just miss. Where are we at here? 8-2, probably lose to Ohio State, just missed the playoffs.
Man, a whole lot more accurate than what I've been claiming some previous episodes about my team.
But I mean, you all probably will make, I was going to say, because with Georgia Tech losing, you all have a better shot at making the playoff now.
There's a good segue into some CFP projections. But for anybody, I want to say this. And anybody who watches, this pod knows me personally, or even a little bit knows that I'm a Miami fan. The whole CFP has a bias towards Notre Dame. When you looking at those two teams, I don't want to hear that. One thing that is for certain for this Miami team under Mario Cristobal is that every year in November, December, they gonna piss down their leg every time. They do it to themselves every year. So they have nobody to blame but themselves. If you have championship aspirations and, you want to be where you think you should be, there's no reason that you should be losing 2 games to 2 unranked teams. And yeah, you beat Notre Dame to start the season, but Notre Dame is a 2-loss team just like you, but their 2 losses are 2 ranked teams. Their first loss was to you. Their second loss was to the now 3rd ranked team in the country. Your 2 losses are to an unranked SMU and an unranked Louisville. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm just tired of, for anybody, nobody should be caping for Miami right now. And if I'm not as a Miami fan, nobody else should be, caping for the Hurricanes right now. They should not be in a position where they are right now, hoping and praying, for disaster, and chaos just to sneak in. Like, if you would have handled your business, you would have been in there comfortably. You'd be a top 5 team in the nation right now, top 4, top 3, and with your feet up, waiting to see how everything else shakes out. But as it happens every year under Mario, come November, come December, they crap the bed, and it's proven. You can count on it. It's like a guarantee that they're gonna do it. So that's just my rant against my own team. Just tired of it, man. Tired of it, bro.
So when we had that Facebook Live episode, we had talked about, Miami, because at the time you were undefeated. We had said, and you agree, it will go as far as Carson Beck takes you. And then he has those games where it's like, all right, man, now I see why he came back for another year when he was projected to be the number 1 quarterback before the last season started.
And the thing that's even more, my bad, bro.
No, you're good.
The thing that's even more annoying about the offense for Miami this year with Carson Beck is that was your prize jewel in the portal and NIL, and you gave upwards of reported $10 million for him to come and play for you this year. And if you watch them offensively, it's a bunch of jet sweeps, it's a bunch of bubble screens, and then when they do take shots down the field, it's, he's got some some long touchdown passes, but it's a whole lot of picks too. So why am I paying somebody in the portal $10 million and I can't scheme an offense, for intermediate plus throws consistently? Why am I paying somebody $10 million to throw a bunch of bubble screens and jet sweeps? I don't know, man.
We can't talk. I mean, I like Bryce Underwood, but I think he's got 9 touchdowns and 5 picks this season and like 1,700 yards.
Yeah, but Bryce Underwood is also a freshman.
I mean, come on now. And this is
Carson Beck is an upperclassman who last year going into that season last year with Georgia was the consensus #1 overall pick in the draft. Those are apples and oranges when you're trying to.
The only reason why I'll push back, and this is coming from a Michigan fan, is because we've seen freshman quarterbacks thrive year one. It's happened. You know, you got Johnny Manziel. He did it. It's just the hype behind Bryce this year is talking about, you know, again, he was getting the Caleb once in a lifetime generational talent. He's got an arm out of this world. He's elusive, and he really hasn't been that great in either. And I get it. He's young. That's why I'm not tripping. But my thing is, and actually he it's better for him because if he went to LSU, he'd be screwed right now with Kelly out of there. But I'm just saying, like, I can't judge being in a position like we're spending $11 million. Yeah, he's a freshman, but I thought he would do better than what he is. Granted, the team's winning. Just saying, I'm not satisfied with his play. I'm not mad, but I'm not satisfied with it either. But any other games this week that you can? I don't even know if I can think of any other games that stand out this week.
No, I mean, I have my ears perked to to see what happens. With obviously the rivalry games you spoke of,
Iron Bowl.
See what happens with Auburn and Bama and
Oregon,
Ole Miss, Mississippi State,
Oregon State.
Yeah, obviously Michigan and Ohio State. But other than that, like, it just seems like the season is kind of coming to the end with Ohio State versus the world. At this point, they look to be the class of college football right now. Kind of the same way I said the Rams in the NFL right now. At this point, I'm not saying it's going to end that way, but that's the way it looks at the moment. And I just don't have a lot of I don't have the same faith in Indiana that I would in Ohio State when it comes to the playoff and them handling business.
Call me out if I'm biased, man. Call me out. But Texas, they win 14-7, and they blow out U of I. Those are their 2 ranked opponents that they had this year. They didn't really play anybody overly like, oh, okay, besides Texas, and that was a close game. So I don't think they're this invincible team like everyone's. I mean, yes, they have the 1-2 punch of their receiver is unreal. Saying it's probably going to be the Heisman winner. Either him or Mendoza is looking like at this point. But I don't think they play because we've played the same people and we've sloppily won those games. They've won by blowouts, of course, which they should because they're a better team. But like I'm just looking, I'm like, man, I don't see them going through the gauntlet of the college football playoff this year unscathed. I just don't see it. And that's just my personal opinion, trying not to be unbiased. I mean, try not to be biased, but let me know. You think I'm biased?
Slightly. But I mean, not to a crazy degree, but slightly, of course. It's like if you asked me to, talk about FSU, I'd be slightly biased. But yeah, I just don't see when time comes for the CFB, I just don't see how it shakes out and somebody knocks them out and it's in some shocking fashion. If they lose in a championship game to somebody and it's a close game, okay, cool. But I don't see anything happening to them between now and the championship game that's going to be surprising as far as them losing. I
can see Oregon beating them though. Like I don't think that would be a farce. Like I don't think that'll just be something that, oh man, Oregon. I can see Oregon beating them, and it's looking like they'll probably feed into them for one of their first matchups. You know, I can see that happen. I can see a Ole Miss beating them. You know, I mean, Texas was right there. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. If I had to put my money on it, would I put my money in? No, absolutely not. But if it happened, I wouldn't be like, gasping, like, oh my God. Or how I would just be like, oh man, you know, yeah, I can see that.
And the only team I can see beating them, you know, if they make it in, is Miami, bro.
Hey, I hear you, man. Just, I can't wait. All I'm saying is next week, all right, if we down them again for the 5th year, next week, oh man, you please tune in to next week's episode because I'm going to act a fool. I'm going to go crazy because there's no team I hate more in any sport than Ohio State by far. So there goes the bias that I have. So they're peeking it a little bit. But at the same time, don't come in them comments if Michigan loses because I expect them to lose. But it's not far-fetched.
Hey, man. For sure. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Hey, you gotta grasp onto something, right?
Before we get out of here, we gotta pivot to last time we were here. There was a certain team in the city that was playing surprisingly well. Now that we're back, they've fallen a little bit back down to earth. That would be your Chicago Bulls. I don't think either one of us are surprised, but what are your thoughts on the hot start from the Bulls and the cooling off, the freezing off, almost, lately?
We're the play-in tournament Bulls. That's what we are. We're the play-in tournament Bulls who are going to lose to the Miami Heat. That's our niche. We even talked about this. Like, I was happy we were doing well, but in this day and age, we don't have a solidified superstar. And you're just not going to win if you don't have that person that you can depend on. And I love the camaraderie the team has. I mean, I think they play exciting games. You know, Stacey King seems to think so. I mean, but it's a Dennis Green moment, man. They are who we thought they were.
I think if anything from the Derrick Rose era Bulls taught you, if anything from that era, taught you and you could take into the future, is one superstar is not going to get it done. And that was a team that had a bona fide superstar. This team does not. This team has a budding star in Buzelis who might be a star at some point.
Yeah. TBD.
Debatable,
yep.
He's
playing well. I'm not going to hate on him.
I'm not going to knock anybody who says that kid is a star in the making. Like, he has all of the tools. He's got the bounce. He plays hard. All of that. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's not Derrick Rose. So my point is, even on a team, that when you had Derrick and you had, a legitimate sidekick with, in Noah and some pieces around him, like, that doesn't get the job done. You got to have a bona fide star and pieces around him. Or if you're not going to have a bona fide star, you got to have 4 or 5 dudes who could be ones on other teams.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, OKC, obviously, Shea is a bona fide star, but there's 2 or 3 other guys in they starting 5 that could be ones on other teams. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, you got a kid that you're trying to prop up in Buzelis as, the next star of that organization, but everything around him is Kobe White, who you probably want to trade at some point this year because you're not going to re-up him. Vooch, who's 40, you got to get rid of him at some point.
Should have been traded 3 years ago.
Patrick Williams, who you
should have not got resigned.
Idiotically gave $90 million to. What else after Buzelis are you, hanging your hat on when you go into the future? So, it was a cool start. It was good to see them playing hard, but you got to find a way to put some pieces around Buzelis and Giddey. But until then, like you said, it's the play-in Bulls. They'll be playing either the Hawks or the Heat in the play-in once again.
Gonna lose.
Oh, of course. And You know, it is what it is.
I think I know I told you. So recently I was in Houston for a work trip. I had to go for a week, and the Rockets had happened to play the Wizards while I was there, and I was like, I ain't doing nothing else, just sitting in this hotel after work. So I decided to go to the game, and they just have what we don't. It's like, I mean, granted, he didn't play much because it ended up being a blowout, but in the first quarter, it's back and forth, and it's just like, all right, just get the ball to KD and get out the way. And then you just see art. Like, literally, man, this dude he's art. It's basketball in art form is what it is. Like, you can see what he's doing. And if I can see it, I know the defender can't. They just can't do anything for it. He's going to get to his spot, and he's going to do whatever he has to do to get to that spot. And if he's there, there's just nothing you can do. And he had 16 points in the first quarter and barely played after that because it didn't matter because they were blowing him out. I was just like, and that was the main reason why I go. I can care less about the Rockets, but I just want to be able to say I saw KD play.
The best teams in the league have guys like that. You know, whether it's KD, whether it's Giannis, whether it's LeBron and Luka, whether it's Shea and OKC, whether it's Paolo in Orlando. Like, who on the Bulls, in a game 7, are you confident handing the ball to at the top of the key in a tie game and saying he gonna win the game for us? Like, they don't have that person. They don't. You can't hand the ball to anybody on the team right now and be like, oh yeah, I got 100% confidence that he gonna get it done.
And we're our own worst enemy too, because, like, yeah, Buzelis, that was a good draft pick, but because the team is managed the way it is, they don't get rid of the players when we should. Like, it's about 5 years ago we should have blew the team up. Blow the team up, take your losses, you have a better chance of a higher draft pick. Right now we're on that bubble, and we always have. I mean, granted, we still could get the number 1 pick, but the odds are just like, I mean, we already hit the lotto once with Derrick Rose. We weren't supposed to get that pick. We did. I don't see us ever getting that number 1, being in that play-in game realm. And we're our own worst enemy, shooting ourselves in the foot. Blow the team up, get rid of the big contracts, the older players, trade away the younger guys, maybe keep Buzelis, but trade away a Kobe White. I know we got Giddey. Patrick Williams probably ain't going to get nothing for him. Nobody wants that contract, but just blow it up, take your losses, finally get a good draft pick, and maybe we can get our superstar.
There's nothing that you should be excited to take with you into the future other than Giddey and Buzelis at this point. Everybody else,
even Giddey, I think Giddey is about as good as what I think he's about as good as what he is going to be. I don't see him being
4-year, $25 million contract, which it's not terrible.
Yeah,
you could
not going to be an all-star or anything like that.
You could deal with that, but when you look at everybody else in that roster, who are you, excited to go into the future with? Other than those two. Like I said, Kobe's on an expiring deal. You're gonna have to deal him because you're not going to give another contract to him. Vooch has to go.
You never know. They might give him that money because they did it with Pat. So there's one thing I want to say before we leave, man. It was a proud Chicago moment, but so years ago I had went on you ever went to the Chicago architecture tour?
No, that's one thing I do want to do.
It was cool. It was pretty cool. My whole life I never been to it, and then me and Britt, we decided to go for, I think it was our anniversary or whatever, and when we went, they're showing it was cool. But I say that to say one of the things the tour guide told us, he was like, a lot of people are leaving Chicago. They project in 10 years Houston will take over Chicago as the 3rd biggest city. So I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't really know Houston had it like that. I didn't know population-wise they were that big, but whatever. So when I was down there, I go to the Rockets game, and I paid $45, and I was 20 rows up off the floor. Stadium was like half empty, and I was looking around. I was like, never could be Chicago. I don't care if Elton Brand era, those tickets are sold out. Bulls games are always sold out. Granted, there'll be times where the tickets in the 300 section will be cheaper, but Chicago fans are going to come out for our Bulls, and they're going to come out for our Bears no matter what. So I was like, all right, they can take over as long as we still got that Chicago fandom, man. So Chicago fans, I'm proud of you, man. Keep it up. You do better with the Sox, but keep it up.
It will in a few years when somebody's,
We're just not supporting that owner.
taking a dirt nap and other stuff that I won't root for.
You've talked about it at least 5 times on this podcast now. Reinsdorf is going to tune in. He's going to be like, hey, man, let me find a copyright infringement on here somewhere and shut them down.
Hey, man. Good luck. He got bigger fish to fry. For us.
Yeah.
If you do, hey, I'd be flattered. Jerry Reinsdorf came from Room A-108 and got us shut down because he was upset about what we've been saying about him.
We made it.
Made it.
Oh, man. There anything else you want to touch on before we head out?
This fool over here with the goddamn Milky Way.
Oh, man. I told you I'm about to smash. Nah.
We touched
I'm
it
definitely
all,
I'm about to eat it before I walk out of here, though. Tear it up.
Have at it. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
This episode is sponsored by Milky Way.
It really isn't. Hopefully they don't take this down because I got two fools on here propping up their candy.
Well, I mean, why would they do this? Free advertisement. If anything, just throw us a little money for sure. Free I've talked you up enough.
Send us a couple T-shirts. I wear a T-shirt, but I ain't eating the candy. That ain't happening.
I'm getting everybody Milky Way candy bars that comes on the episode from now on.
Hey, man. Whatever.
All right, so just before we go, if you had, remove that, what would be your 4th candy bar you would throw in there? I only put those.
So the 4 that you put up, take that away. Obviously, Snickers, Reese's, Twix, and then you would have to add a 4th?
Yeah.
Man, probably peanut M&Ms. Light years better than Milky Way. If we keep it in like that kind of like chocolatey range.
I've never
go to like candy. There's a whole lot better candies than Milky Way.
I've never purchased a bag of peanut M&Ms. I've eaten them if they've been available, but I've never went and be like, ooh, that's the move.
People make bad decisions every day.
That's not
poor decision that you make that you continue to make your entire
now
life.
I want to say, so we probably should have started off by saying, but I put up a post. They were the candy bars I had available. It was a Reese's, a Twix, a Snickers, and a Milky Way. I said rank them from best to worst. And everybody commented on Facebook and threw all the shade in the world at Milky Way.
Because only 3 of them deserve to be ranked.
That's crazy. Milky Way is I told you that was 3rd for me. Snickers, I'd rather have a Milky Way than the Snickers. But anyways,
you fucking degenerate.
That said, I'm going to smash this and feel great about myself on the way home, man. I'm gonna feel great. But that said, I'd probably take 3 of those. I would keep Reese's. Reese's is my favorite. I'll keep Reese's and cookies and cream. I'll smash those caramellos. Smash that. There's so many good candy bars, man. That I just didn't have them at the time, but I would have those as well. But
it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Whatever. Sponsored. Milky Way. All right, man, that's enough. We weren't playing too much. We went from horoscopes one episode to Milky Ways and candy bars, but yeah, that's you ain't got nothing else.
No, man.
Nothing else you want to touch on? No closing segment.
Fingers crossed that the Bears go to Philly and then find a way to get the job done. It's really the only thing going into this holiday weekend that I'm looking forward to. And then enjoy time with the family. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to Amber back there. Y'all and y'all families, and that's about it, bro.
Yeah. Just enjoy the holiday. Be safe. And hopefully we're saying bear down and go blue come next week.
For sure, man. Eat up, drink up, Uber home. CJ's keys to life.
And be sure to eat y'all Milky Ways. Until next time, thanks for coming by Room A-108.